Ahoy, ahoy! Welcome to a brand new edition of the Ramble on Reactions. With me, as always, is handsome Dan Nye.
Sitting right over there is clever Eric Muller. And if you're wondering why the lighting looks a little funny, is because we're recording this late because we just got out of a showing of the brand new Marvel Cinematic Universe film, first one out the gate, Spider-Man Homecoming. So,
first one out of the gates, does the Guardians count?
First Spider-Man film.
There you go.
That's where I was going.
The first MCU Spider-Man.
Full, not like Civil War where it was just like a little bit. So
the best 30 minutes.
Nutshell.
We get the continuing adventures of Peter Parker as he finds the struggles of being a normal high school student while at the same time having the ability to stop a bus because he's also a superhero. Trying to live up to the high standards of being a superhero and everything that entails. And then we also have a nice story with Michael Keaton as the Vulture, and he was really excellent in his story. It's quite well done in this.
Yeah, as far as the plot and the story goes, that's pretty much it. It's not anything complicated.
Nope.
It's not anything groundbreaking, but the way they do it is very clever, and it does the character a lot of justice.
Yes.
So some positives, some things we're really excited about. Like you said, Vulture.
Vulture, yeah.
Vulture is great.
One of the best MCU villains in a long time.
And it's because they don't try to overcomplicate him.
Nope.
He's not trying to do too much. He's actually the first character you see in the entire film.
And he's also one of the few things that I like is he's a villain who's justified in his actions.
And yeah, it's one of those ones that you can totally sympathize with what he's doing and where he's going with it, so you definitely like what he's doing. And it's Michael Keaton.
And he's giving such a good performance.
Yeah, he's giving such a good performance where he's charming and he's maniacal,
terrifying,
and he's a family man. Like, okay, all these things fit together. Of course they do, because you're Michael Keaton and you can pull that all off.
You can make anything work.
You get a nice little B villain with the Shocker, nothing too crazy, but it's interesting to see that villain and like the route they're taking with it. Tom Holland. Oh,
Tom Holland, yeah.
Was such a good Peter Parker.
Really good.
He is, Nate, he is British, but he is not British in this film. So he is a very good
He's a proud American.
We needed a Spider-Man because there was a big mosquito, which we had to get out of the way. But,
you're welcome, Dan.
Thank you. I was scared. He took care of it. But yeah, Tom Holland was fantastic. He took up... It starts right where Civil War left off, and then just picks up and runs with it.
Well, not only that, like, they actually allow Peter Parker to be a high schooler, which is a nice change, because in the last two Spider-Man franchises, he's pretty much... They're trying to get him out, because the actors are in their 20s, so it's really hard to play a high schooler. But this is the joy, if you've read Spider-Man comic books your whole life, watched the cartoons, this is the Peter Parker you want. You wanted the high school, you wanted the awkwardness of, trying to struggle being in high school to begin with, and then add the superpowers on top of that, which I also love. And then also they've done a really good, we talked about this in the car, they're also doing a really good job with not force-feeding you the Spider-Man origin again.
Yeah, we talked about it, and there are...
4 lines.
Yeah, there are 3 or 4 total lines, and that's all you get.
Yeah.
And he was saying he wished there was a little bit more, just in one... That was the only nitpick you had about the entire movie, and I'm like, no, I loved it. I love that you didn't get any of that. We've seen the origin story happen a bunch before. We don't need it anymore. And I like the way it was handled brilliantly. I also want to make sure we mention, I think Ken was the name of his best friend.
Yes, Ken.
His best friend was
so
funny. It was
so funny, and he's
so realistic.
Yeah,
so realistic. Like, if you had a best friend in high school who you told everything to and who knew everything, again, not sure what happens.
He's that guy.
That's exactly how you would respond. And this is it does such a good job of blending a superhero film with the awkwardness of, I wouldn't even say, like, they try to do a little John Hughes. That's what they kept saying the vibe would be. I didn't get too much of it because it's a different type. It's a different era. Like, they even threw the 80s in there. Like, they had the 80s dance.
80s theme Homecoming.
Which was a nice little homage, but it was like, you didn't have to try to force feed it. It was good on its own. Yeah. Other positives. I know there's...
Melissa Tomei. Like, pretty much the whole cast. You cannot find a bad character or a bad performance. Like, I wanted to be, Spider-Man guy. Like, that's my dream role now.
The in-joke of Aunt May being really attractive is still going. It's still really funny. It's not beaten to death. It's brought up a few times, but never it doesn't outstay its welcome. You get a lot more of Jon Favreau as Happy Hogan in this, which is nice.
The most you've seen him really in all the MCU.
Yeah, I think he might have popped up more in Iron Man 2, but that was probably it. So it's been almost 7 or 8 years, which they do a lot of time referencing in this movie as well. Zendaya was great. You had Donald Glover in it for a total of 15 minutes. He's still good. He's still good with what he did. Robert Downey Jr. being Iron Man. There's literally no...
Yeah.
We can't complain about any parts of this. The effects were great.
And this is a guy who's coming from an indie movie called Cop Car to doing Spider-Man Homecoming, and he did a great job. I forget the director's name.
John Watts.
John Watts. Yeah, fantastic job. I mean, normally we do this segment called negatives. I got nothing.
I don't have any negatives either.
So let's just go ahead and skip to grading it. Grade it.
It's an A.
Yeah, solid A.
So yeah, if you get a chance, definitely go see this in theaters. It's gonna be it's a really fun movie to see.
Yes, it is. You'll have fun with it.
And that's the thing I like, because you're seeing the growing pains of Spider-Man as well. Not only like the awkward high schoolness, but you're still seeing him like kind of coming into his own as a superhero.
Coming into what it is to be a superhero. Yeah.
And so it's just a very fun movie.
And there's also good twists and turns, which I love. It keeps you entertained.
We're not spoiling anything, because there was one point in the middle of the movie where I went. I literally did that to Eric right before the twist happened, because I saw it coming for about that quickly, and then it happened, and I was like, oh! And then the whole movie has a whole different tone. But
yes,
we'll wait. As always, thank you very much for making it this far in our video. If you like it, like, comment, subscribe, share. Let us know what you thought about Spider-Man Homecoming. This will be up pretty shortly after the movie comes out, so let us know your favorite thoughts. Try not to spoil it. If you do, we might do a spoilers for this, depending on if anyone...
we might do a Rotten if there's
demand for it, yeah. Or even sometimes we've done Rotten videos too, but we'll see. Right now, this is all we're going to do. So, that's clever Eric Muller sitting right over there.
That's Handsome Dan 9.
Go see Spider-Man Homecoming, and as always, ahoy, ahoy.
Anchors away.